Hello everyone, today's video is all about exporting to the EU, specifically the issues concerning small businesses following Brexit, and specifically since the 1st of January, the last 6 weeks, there's been a few issues encountered. So let's just go through some of those and look at some solutions to those. So firstly, around VAT. Now, since the 1st of January, exporters have had to add VAT to the export, because before then we were all part of one single VAT group, and technically the export was known as a dispatch in VAT jargon, and it was zero rated. There was no VAT added to the invoice, so the buyers from the EU didn't suffer that VAT. Now the sellers in the UK have to add VAT on, and the customers who are buying the products in the EU will suffer that VAT. It's an upfront cost. Yes, they can claim it back on their VAT return, but there's a timing issue. So they have to stump up for the output VAT straight away. So right there, it makes the UK exporters less competitive than they were. The other issue for the UK exporters of the goods is on that same VAT theme. They now have to register for VAT in each of the EU countries that they sell into. So when those buyers pay them the VAT straight away, they've then got to pay that across to the various countries that they are now selling into. So that means more admin burdens of having to register for VAT in up to 27 countries if you're selling in all of the EU countries. So a real admin nightmare from the registering for VAT point of view. What about tariffs? So all this promise of tariff-free trade once we left the EU. Well, yes, that does apply to goods that are manufactured in the UK and sold to the EU, but it doesn't apply to those rules, to those products that were manufactured outside the EU, then brought to the UK, and then the UK exports them to the EU, which happens in all sorts of industries. For example, the fashion industry, often the manufacturing costs in the UK are prohibitively high, so the manufacturing takes place often in the Far East. The garments come to the UK and then they are sold to the EU. That would not qualify for no tariffs. There would be tariffs on those goods. However, if there is some substantial work or processing done to those goods in the UK, then yes, you can still have the zero tariff. So you bring them in and you do something substantial to them in this country, and then you export them. Yes, you are afforded those zero tariffs. But if you're literally just bringing them in and then exporting them straight to the EU, then you're going to have to pay tariffs. So what about some other issues? Logistics. A lot of the freight forwarders, the couriers, the people who are spending hours of having to sort out paperwork on the docks and the ports, they are passing on the cost of that to the clients, the SME business owners. So they're having to suffer more costs on their transportation and logistics. Also issues for specific sectors. So the food industry in particular, manufacturing food products to the EU, certain types of products, you have to have a health certificate, which costs £180 per consignment. And it could be, depending on the value of these, that actually each time you send one of these, you're paying more in for the health certificate than you are for the goods. So some real issues there. So just looking at a few solutions. So a few solutions would be, well, first of all, looking for a third-party customs agent who can help you, guide you through the minefield and all this, sort out things like having to register for VAT in all these different countries. There's firms out there that will do that, help you through all the paperwork, the extra admin, filling out all the right commodity codes, all the paperwork that can help with that. Some SME businesses may be tempted to actually set up a subsidiary within the EU country or countries that they trade in to avoid the extra tax and the extra tariffs. Now, on the flip side of that, they've then got to worry about renting office space, additional costs, and having to deal with local employment law in these in these EU countries. And also, they may not want to do that because it could mean that they have to forego some UK labour costs. So they'll be loath to let people go in the UK for the sake of setting up overseas. But if they can hang on to their UK workforce and still maybe expand overseas with a skeleton staff maybe, or they could get the best of both worlds and keep the costs to a minimal of expanding overseas and get around those tariff and VAT restrictions. So just a few things to consider there. It's only been 6 weeks, but these rules look like they're going to be here for some time. So the delays, some of the logistics aside, things like the VAT, you're just going to have to get used to it. If you're in that position, they are the rules. It's not as if it's going to be, let's wait for a period, we get teething problems out of the way and it's going to revert back to it. No, it's not. These are the new rules. Things like the importing from outside the EU to then export into the EU, they are here to stay. It's only really on the admin side where hopefully things will speed up. But in terms of the extra costs here and there and the processes, that's what we're faced with now. So SMEs will have to get used to that. So just something to think about on if you're exporting, you're a small business exporting to the EU following our departure from the EU. So if you like this video, please do subscribe there, and I will see you soon.